Doug Hocking, head coach of the Vancouver Island Raiders, joins me now. And Doug, you finally made it off the bus. You guys are back home. Bit of a gong show travel weekend for you.
Yeah.
You got the bus breaking down. You've got an accident on the highway. Try and just explain to me what that was like for your team.
Well, I don't know how to explain it, what it was like. I could say they handled it really well, right? Like, we always talk about dealing with adversity, and 4 hours on the side of the highway with a broken bus, waiting for another one. Thankfully the weather was good, so they could get out and stretch their legs. We just confirmed that we're going to push the game time back, and we get up, and sure enough, we get to the top there, and there's a accident on the Coquihalla at the top there. So they got the bus got held up another, a little over an hour, and by the time it was all said and done, the game had been postponed till Sunday, and they were in bed sometime after 10:30, and up at 7:30 the next day. So they handled it well. I'm proud of them the way they handle it, and the whole weekend. It's they showed their maturity in dealing with stuff like that. So it was a crazy weekend for sure.
Doug, I know you're not an excuses guy, and you won't use the travel as an excuse, but you were a pro football player. You know the value of routine for a player, especially around a game day. I mean, even just thinking back to yourself as a player, what kind of an impact would that have had going from a Saturday night game, all of a sudden you're in a hotel, you're playing Sunday morning?
Well, you know what? I think it would have had an impact for sure, right? But that's part of being an athlete. That's part of adversity and dealing with stuff like that. So, we won't use it. We expect ourselves to be better than that, and my staff and we got up Sunday ready to go, and the players got up, great attitude, great energy, and I'll give them all the credit in the world. They battled hard on Sunday morning, and which they haven't done. Usually we play 1:00 games up there. It was an 11 a.m. game. We kind of put a positive spin on it. That's like the old Pee Wee days. You're the first game of the day with 8 other games after you, right? There's just friends and family in the stands, and mom's got a double. Let's go, right? And mom and dad are on the change sticks and then the crew, and we're just playing football. That's all it was, right? And you go from real looking. Saturday nights are special up in the Apple Bowl, but Sunday morning, came upon us quick, and we battled. So it was I can say that. I'm not going to say that it affected us. There's a lot of other contributing factors of why we lost that game.
Break it down for me. What are some of those factors?
Well, we were just talking, Dom. We turned the ball over 3 times in our own red zone, which led to 9 points, and our defense did an outstanding job. Going out there and holding the Sun to 3 points each time. And that's a very good Sun football team. They're different with that quarterback in the game, and I give the defense a lot of credit for that. So that's 9 points there, and the block punt gave him another touchdown, and then there was an uncovered guy for a touchdown later in the game when we thought maybe we could be getting some momentum back. So those are things that those are contributing factors. There's 20 plus points right there on 5 plays. 5 plays that, as far as I'm concerned, we control the outcome of those plays. So we got to clean those up this week, and those are plays that a crummy Saturday travel day shouldn't affect, right? Those are just poor decisions. We also tackled poorly on defense, and they got plays that way. So, are we going to blame a crummy Saturday travel day on a loss? No, we're going to look at poor tackling. We're going to look at turnovers. We're going to look at mistakes on special teams, and that's why we lost that football game. And there's those are things we got to work on if we want to get our game and we want to get on a roll here going to the playoffs and consider ourselves one of the top teams in this conference. Those are mistakes that can't be happening at this time of year, and they happen. So we got a lot of work ahead of us, but we're a group of grinders. We're meat and potatoes here over at Caledonia and at a Comox Field, our practice facility. So put your work boots on and your hard hat, and let's go to work, and we'll fix it.
I don't even think you could grow potatoes in that soil, to be honest.
Yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of other things growing down in that soil.
Yeah, no doubt. Doug, I know that it's an intense focus on what you guys are doing, and it's all about your work and your progress. But if you pull back and you look at the league, it's week 7. You got 5 teams within 2 points of first place. Unequaled parity. Everyone's beating everyone. You can't call a game on any given weekend. This is a fun season.
That's awesome, right? Like it's you couldn't have looked at it at the preseason and said this is the way it's going to go. I would have laughed and said there's no way it's going to go that way. But I think it's great for the fans. It's terrible for my blood pressure. We go on, right? And every game means something, right? There's not a game that doesn't mean something right now. And there's been times in this league, you get into week 6, 7, and 8, it's a done deal. You know who the top 4 teams are, and now it's just about staying healthy and getting to the tournament. Well, right now, you're playing your number ones because every game means something. There's a chance to make moves in the standings with one loss here, and right now you can go from first to third in one weekend, right? So it's you better come in, you better understand that and like we've preached all year, it's one play, and we need every play to be considered very important with a sense of urgency in every football game, like we have all year, and we'll continue to do that.
So you're playing the winless Broncos this weekend. I mean, you say every game means something, has a meaning. What is the meaning of this weekend's game then?
Well, we got to get back on track, Dom. We have to go out and we have to do some things better than we have. Like I said, we turned the ball over, uncharacteristically last week. We have stuff to clean up on special teams. We have to tackle better, right? So, again, it's about us. We're going to look at their scheme. We're going to look at what they do on offense and defense. But as far as what we're doing, we need to do those things better. Tackle. There was drop balls in that game in Okanagan. Those are things that can't happen. So that's what our focus is right now, cleaning up our mistakes, and we'll be fine going into Kamloops and playing Saturday night. We're coming. I think we thought we were coming out of Kelowna a little bit more beat up than we really are. We got everybody's ready to go. All our guys are ready to play. We feel we can move the ball on these guys. We feel we're going to be able to run the ball. We definitely feel we're going to be able to pass the ball with our receivers right now. Jake's throwing the ball real well, and Rhett Williams is having an outstanding season. So defensively, we need to go back out. We need to start playing, Raider football again. I think last weekend we kind of got away from that. We need to start challenging teams. We need to start. Our defensive line needs to step up and put some pressure on this quarterback and get him to make mistakes. So those are things that we need to work on. We'll worry about the outcome of the game Saturday night. It doesn't matter what their record is. If you go back, these games in the last few years have always been close. It doesn't matter what their record is. And I don't know if it's the travel or whatever it is, or if it's, we just, don't wake up to the second half. But I'm telling my team right now, they damn well better wake up in the first quarter when that ball's kicked off, or it's not going to be the outcome that they want.
Yeah, that is true. You make a good point. That Kamloops game always seems to be a challenge. I remember even interviewing you. I think I was doing play-by-play one year up on the tower there, and you came up and you were pretty heated, I think, at a halftime about the way the game was playing out. You are right. It seems to be a challenging trip for your group, whatever reason. Yeah,
it does, right? And it's one of those games where everybody feels like it's Kamloops, so you can get your twos and you can roll your threes, and twos and threes need to be able to play. But our ones, we need to understand that there's a real good opportunity to go up there, win a football game, and the way things are playing out, we could be coming home with owning first place on our own. So that's the plan. But that'll play out itself in any other game. Right now, we need to go up to there and execute at a high level, understand what's on the line, and go and win a football game. That's all we need to do. Go win a football game, get ourselves back on track, and start getting back on a roll here. We went from week 1. A loss to winning 4 in a row. Now we've got a loss. Now we got an opportunity to win 4 in a row again, and just keep rolling.
Doug, good luck with the highways, man. I hope the Coquihalla is a little more friendly to you guys than it was last go around here.
Oh, the Coquihalla gods are friendly to us this weekend, Dom. I hope so. Anyway, no problem. Anytime, buddy.